Sundown in Provo, Utah. The lights are on at LaVell Edwards Stadium. The Aggies of Utah State against the Cougars of BYU. Welcome once again to Provo, Utah. With Rod Gilmore and Shelly Smith, I'm Carter Blackburn. A marquee Saturday awaits in college football. West Virginia is at Texas. Georgia's at South Carolina. College game day in Columbia. And LSU goes on the road to Florida. But first, it's late night Friday night.
He's going for it again. And he's got it again. Utah State wins.
The Utah State Aggies, heroes of Friday nights past, come to BYU hoping to take out the Cougars. It's Utah State versus BYU from LaVell Edwards Stadium. And Rod, sometimes we overuse that word rivalry when talking about college football matchups. If Utah State wins against BYU tonight, they continue a trend of making this a rivalry game.
We're trying to say that little brother is all grown up now, and that's true. 2 years ago, they knocked off BYU. Last year, they took them down to the wire in a last-second loss. And this team has played well against Auburn and Wisconsin, so BYU has no choice. They have to take Utah State seriously.
Well, BYU used to be known as Quarterback U with Heisman Trophy winners and All-Americans. Now it is a quarterback saga, one that continues. Taysom Hill will get his second start at quarterback tonight as Riley Nelson continues to come back from injury.
Yeah, and we saw him against Hawaii last week, and he's outstanding. He's a great athlete. The coaching staff at BYU believes that he'll be the best athlete on the field. Well, he's a great runner. And tonight, the challenge for him will be the passing attack. He's going to have to throw the football a lot more than he did last week because this Utah State defense will challenge him.
The Aggies and the Cougars are ready for late night, Friday night from Provo, Utah. The Friday focus here in Utah is on the Aggies and the Cougars. And BYU from Romney Stadium to LaVell Edwards Stadium. Moments ago, we listened in as Utah State head coach Gary Anderson addressed the Aggies.
Okay, boys, you know exactly where you're at, okay? You know exactly where you're at, what the situation is, what we got to do. Number one, you're going to have to go take it, okay? Nothing's going to be given to you. You got to go take it. You got to out-physical them, you got to out-tough them, and you got to outsmart them, okay? Play your game. Get your minds right just like you always do every single week. You have no problem getting up for this one, okay? Know where you're at. Enjoy the moment, okay? 65,000 or whatever in change against 74. You know what? I like the odds of the Aggies. Let's go get this done. Let's go.
Well, more than just pride on the line between Utah State and BYU, it is a rare double trophy game. And when you think trophy, you think Shelly Smith.
Have you ever seen a game with two trophies at stake? This is the old wagon wheel, which is awarded to the winner of this game, which has become a fierce rivalry once again. And this is the coveted Beehive Boot Trophy, which goes basically to the king of football in Utah. And it's something that Utah State could take home tonight after having beaten Utah earlier this season. Now, it's been since 1974 since Utah State beat both schools in a single year. And their quarterback, Chucky Keaton, he was a recruit on these sidelines for Utah State 2 years ago when they beat up on BYU. He says that's a reason why he chose the Aggies. And he says he'd love nothing more than to take both of these trophies home tonight.
That is what's on the line tonight for Utah State and BYU. The Aggies have been heroes of Friday nights past. Jerron Bentroot's kickoff will be taken by Joe Sampson for BYU. Utah State won the toss and deferred. BYU gets the football first, and Sampson dragged down right around the 15-yard line, which means the BYU offense will take the field first, which means Taysom Hill. A week ago, he became the first freshman quarterback to win his BYU debut since Ty Detmer. But Taysom Hill, not the typical college freshman, 22 years old, enrolled at BYU in January after an LDS mission. At 6'2", 218, he is a load.
Yeah, actually committed to Stanford before changing his mind and agreeing to go to BYU.
Hill under his center, Hansen, handing off to Jamal Williams, a 17-year-old freshman running back. A late change on the BYU offensive line. Solomone Kafu gets the start at left guard because Famika Anai, the sophomore, because of a series of injuries, learned today that his football career is over. So Famika Anai is now an observer on the BYU sideline. Kafu starts at left guard as the offensive line continues to shift around BYU. Play action from Hill, rolling on 2nd and 7. Taysom Hill runs for the first down to the 30.
Well, this is what he brings to the party that we saw last week. He is incredibly gifted as a runner. As Riley Nelson congratulating folks, but the challenge is going to be, can he throw the football down the field once Utah State takes away the outside rushing attack from the quarterback?
BYU without Michael Olisa, who broke his arm last week. So in the backfield, it's now Yona Pritchard joining Hill. There's the QB draw. And Ron, in watching a lot of film on Taysom Hill, you have picked up what BYU's trying to do with him.
Yeah, you know what that play is? That's comfort food. That is comfort food for Hill. It is a draw play that allows him to see the field and to run and do what he does best and get comfortable in the offense.
So where most people be mashed potatoes or chicken fried steaks,
and gravy,
QB draw for Taysom Hill.
You got it.
Here's Hill on 2nd and 8. Short pass complete to the outside. That's Falslev, who makes the first man miss, makes the second man miss, and makes it 3rd and short for BYU. J.D. Falslev fighting for extra yardage.
That was an important play because it gave you an indication that Hill can make the throw from the pocket. That was not a sprint out. It wasn't an option. It was simply sit in the pocket and find your slot receiver, get the ball out there. That is a very good sign for his confidence.
3rd down and 2. Opening drive for BYU. Paul Lasike in the backfield. Hill audible, 7 seconds. Lasike gets it, and he is stuffed short of the first down on 3rd and 2.
That's a little bit of a surprise for BYU because Lasike had just been running over guys in practice, and they felt they needed to use him in short yardage situation. They figured if he could run over, here they go. Is this going to hurry up?
Hurry to the line. Hill will keep it. Hill. Did the play get off before a timeout? Timeout, Utah State before the 4th and 1 hurry up for BYU. Timeout granted to Gary Anderson.
And if they don't get the timeout in, that's a turnover. It's 1st and 10 going the other way.
It's almost like icing the kicker, but here in the first quarter.
Wow.
Instead of a stop, a timeout for Utah State.
They thought it caught him off guard, but look at the surge. And just the notion that Bronco Mendenhall would roll the dice like that on the opening drive inside his own 40-yard line. I mean, if you don't get it, that's a turnover.
How much of that has to do with confidence in Taysom Hill carrying the football?
Well, I wouldn't have had a lot of confidence after that 3rd down play when you didn't get it.
And out of the timeout, the BYU offense still on the field.
Now remember, we have seen a pooch punt from Hill.
Taysom Hill pooch punted last week in the 47-0 win over Hawaii. And don't be surprised to see that here. Instead, Hill will keep it, and Hill fights for the first down. 1st and 10 BYU. The 4th and 1 that was denied before the timeout. The Cougars convert.
Wow, that is a lot of confidence in that freshman quarterback. He was trapped behind the line of scrimmage, but we talked about his running skills, how instinctive he is, he found a way to twist and turn and pick that up. That is a huge, huge gamble.
Vigil, one of the inside linebackers for Utah State, had him in the backfield, but Hill breaks the tackle. 1st and 10 Cougars. Hill's going to audible again. 3 seconds. They'll run it. Jamal Williams, the 17-year-old freshman, gets maybe a couple. Gives us a chance to look at the impact players for the Cougars.
Yeah, well, it starts with Hill at quarterback. We talked about him being in for Riley Nelson. Williams, the freshman running back, game-breaking speed he adds to the backfield there. Ziggy Ansah, boy, has he jumped up the NFL draft list lately. And don't be surprised if you see Kyle Vanoy playing on Sundays as well. He is a versatile linebacker.
One of the reasons why the BYU defense is 4th in the nation, giving up only 10 points a game. 8th play of the drive already for BYU, and they haven't crossed the 45. Hill throws, screen, Falslev. J.D. Falslev out of bounds near the 48. 3rd down coming up for BYU. Tyler Fackrell on the stop.
Quarterbacks really are under pressure to get it done on 3rd downs. They're trying to manage this and make this a short when it's close enough.
Utah State gets caught trying to substitute. So just the 3rd pass of the night from Taysom Hill goes for a 1st down. That's Kenyaku Friel, the tight end.
How about BYU letting it all hang out, substitutions, they're moving fast, changing tempo. Utah State gets caught off guard.
Offensive coordinator Brandon Doman told us they would use a lot more of the nitro, which means both teams tonight could be running a hurry-up offense.
That's a trend.
What is it?
False start. Illegal snap, number 76 offense. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
The hurry-up offense, the tempo change, we're seeing it all across college football. It gives an advantage to the offense. I mean, you get more plays in. You don't allow the defense to really set themselves and pick the best defensive play that they want.
We had a good discussion with Bronco Mendenhall, head coach, who also calls the defense for BYU. Hill, there's the draw, the comfort food for the freshman from Idaho. Hill gets a couple. And what Bronco Mendenhall said in part was defensive coaches need to stop complaining about the hurry up and figure out how to stop it.
Yeah, but he did say that he was caught off guard, complained the first time he ran up against Gus Malzahn when he was at Tulsa several years ago, and he said, oh, so this is where the game is going. We better get creative and figure out how to deal with this thing.
And we will see BYU defensively eventually and see how they deal with it. Cody Hoffman makes the grab on the outside to make it 3rd down, and as they say, manageable. 3rd and 5 coming up for BYU.
Yeah, just the period on that pace issue. West Virginia, Oregon. You're going to see all that this weekend. And if you pay attention, watch the number of plays. How many more plays a defense has to play because of the style of offense now? This is 2-down territory automatically, right? They've already gone for it on 4th down.
Especially struggling mightily in the kicking game, BYU. 12th play of the opening drive, and they're just at the 34-yard line. Hill on 3rd and 5 over the middle, caught by Falslev. He reaches, but he did not get the 1st down to the 30. So now with 4th and 1 coming up, do we expect to see?
Are you kidding?
Yep.
I mean, if you went for it with 4th and a yard at your own 39, you have to go for it here.
And you factor into that BYU has really struggled kicking the football. In fact, BYU hasn't attempted a field goal in the last 2 weeks since 2 missed versus Utah that cost them the game in Salt Lake City. So 4th and 1, Hill under center. Lasike fumbles the football, grabs it back, but he appears to be short of the 1st down. Lasike, the former rugby player who's seeing a lot more snaps because of the injury to Michael Alisa, fumbles on 4th and 1. Al Lapuahu, the defensive end, gets the stop there on Lasike. aren't going to measure, but that doesn't look close. The yellow line is unofficial, but it's
usually pretty good.
Utah State ball. Aggies get the stop on 4th down, ending a 13-play drive with 0 points on the board for BYU. Chucky Keaton and the Aggie offense get the football when we come back. After a BYU 13-play drive with 0 points on the board, Chucky Keaton and the Utah State Aggies finally get the football on offense from their 29. Play action. Keaton on the roll, throws incomplete, intended for Robert Marshall.
Keaton has improved dramatically as a passer. No one questioned his athletic ability, his ability to run the option, but it was the passing that had to improve, and boy, has it taken off. You see the 11 touchdowns against 4 picks. That's an excellent ratio.
Those passing yards and touchdowns equal the numbers from his freshman year last season. Keaton finds Williams again on 2nd and 10, and he is wrestled down and dropped by Ezekiel Ansah, the phenom from Ghana.
Yeah, one of our impact players. How discouraging is it to have a 275-pound, 280-pound guy run you down when you're a running back? Well, don't be mad. He runs the 200 meters in under 22 seconds.
That's Ezekiel Ansah, who just put on the football pads 3 years ago. Now he's standing up, ready to rush on 3rd and long with Kyle Van Noy coming from the other edge. Keaton steps up, throws, finds Austin short of the 1st down. So 4th down early, and the BYU defense puts Utah State just where they want it, 3 and out.
Keep seeing this defense. You look at the stats. They're highly rated, and Bronco Mendenhall won't quite say it yet, but you get the feeling when you talk to him, he thinks it's maybe the best defense he's ever had.
Said we're going to put the crown on at the end of the season, not right now. False left calls for the fair catch back at the 21 off the punt from Tyler Bennett. So zeros so far between Utah State and BYU. Cougar football next. Stevenson and Brandon Ogletree also in Geography 245. Cody Hoffman, 24 straight games with a reception. Not yet one tonight.
You got to be on the field for that. Get him on the field. He's a matchup nightmare.
Only 2 receptions last week versus Hawaii in that BYU rout, 47-0 at LaVell Edwards Stadium. Taysom Hill in his 2nd start as BYU quarterback under center. Play action. Hill chased. Hill throws incomplete. Lapu Aho applying the pressure.
That last drive, Hill was essentially the offense. I mean, he ran it, 4 out of the, 8 or 9 carries they had, and then threw it 5 times. So he's the focal point. They got him comfortable with the comfort food, the draw play, and then they let him throw the short passes. Now Hoffman back in. At some point, we've got to see them take a chance on the outside with Hoffman and get him involved in the game. As you mentioned, only 2 catches last week.
Hoffman did have a catch on that opening drive for BYU, so the streak is now 25 straight games for Cody Hoffman. Hill out of the shotgun, throwing incomplete. Good hit by Brian Sweet to dislodge it from the tight end Friel.
Yeah, good hit, good defense. Did you notice there was only a 3-man rush? Now watch the big hit there. Nice job out there. Well done by Sweet. But when you rush 3, you're dropping 8 into coverage. And if I'm Utah State, I'm afraid to commit 4 or 5 to rush because Hill is so athletic. He'll break away. And if he breaks away and you only have 4 or 5 guys back on coverage, you're going to get up a lot of yardage.
3rd and 10 now with 4 wide. Pritchett will motion to the wing. Hill rolls that way. Taysom Hill throwing incomplete. He was 5 for 5 passing on the first drive, Taysom Hill, but he has missed his last 2. That one intended for Hoffman.
Both of those incompletions on this drive on the move, rolling out, and deeper throws, not in the pocket. First drive, short passes in the pocket. Now moving him outside, getting him away, longer throws, not successful.
So BYU, the first time they have the football, 13 plays, 0 points. This time a 3 and out. Riley Stevenson will punt. No infield fly rule in effect, as the fair catch is called for at the 42. Chucky Keaton and the Aggie offense get the football when we come back.
Georgia fans were concerned about their defense. They get Marcus Lattimore. They got to deal with him. He's owned them lately.
A super talented Georgia defense, but they have the penchant for still giving up those big plays. Out of the pistol, Kerwin Williams gets maybe 3. And that's Romney Fungu makes a stop. Helmet pops off, has to come out for a play.
You're talking about maybe 9 guys drafted off that Georgia defense, likely 3 in the first round. Very talented. They're just getting guys back playing together. I'm sure they're focused on Lattimore. He's gone for, what, about $180 each of the last 2 years against them.
Early and Ken Malcolm both averaging 8 yards a carry for Georgia. Williams in the slot, empty backfield for Utah State. Keaton scrambling, heaving, complete for an Aggie first down. That's Travis Reynolds, who's thrown out of bounds by Spencer Hadley.
How about the patience? That's the growth that you see in Chucky Keaton. He didn't simply just take off and try and get the first down with his legs. Watch him buy time. His eyes are down the field. He's thinking, I'm going to use my arm to pick this up. Last year, he would have just taken off and not picked up the first down.
Play action from Keaton. Keaton will take the sack, and he is dropped by Ezekiel Ziggy Ansah.
Man, he's something. He has picked up the idea of pass rush in a short period of time. Watch him on the right side of the screen. You'll see him flash through, and now relentless, stays after it.
He's beating his right guard there. That's Kyle Wimpy, who gets his first start on the Utah State offensive line. 2nd down and 12. Kerwin Williams trying to find the corner. Williams is dragged down by Brandon Ogletree to set up 3rd down and 5 again for Utah State.
Yeah, and this defense now on 3rd down. They like to turn loose those guys on the edge. Ansah and also Kyle Van Noy. 3 and 47. Usually they each occupy a different side, and they bring pressure.
Five seconds. Keaton, option. He is dropped. Brandon Ogletree, the first Cougar there. Back-to-back 3 and outs by the Utah State Aggies against the stout BYU defense.
Hang on a second. I think they'll go for it here. I mean, you're at the 35-yard line. I'm not sure a punt does you a lot of good here. You're in no man's territory.
And Utah State has had kicking woes as well.
Yeah.
Josh Thompson's missed 34-yarder at Wisconsin's the only reason they've lost a game.
Yeah, this is the right call. They ran on 3rd down to set this up.
Only 1 4th down conversion this year for Utah State. 2 seconds. 1. Keaton, option again. Toss to Williams. Williams stretching, and he appears to have the first down. Preston Hadley makes the stop, but Williams just does get the first down. Matt Austin throws the block on the edge.
A nice little move. Watch the little dip here to get to the outside. Straight ahead, hard running, dip the shoulder. Picked it up.
First down of the night for the Aggies. Keaton, everything breaks down on 1st down, so he just throws it away. A chance to look at the impact players for the Utah State Aggies.
Well, it really begins in the backfield with Williams, who's been a third down specialist in the past. Finally got his chance, is now the leading receiver and leading rusher on this team. Jacobs has really given a lot of boost to the passing attack on the outside. Defensively, they can't get anything done without Jake Dowdy in the middle.
After the fourth down conversion, the Aggies try to put points on the board. Keaton option keeper on 2nd and 10 to the 20. One of the many option looks you'll see from Utah State.
Yeah, they really believe in trying to get their talented, speedy athletes in space. And the option is one way to do it. They spread you out and they run option. They will run that zone read option. They'll use the speed option and just get Chucky Keaton right to the edge right now. And they have others they employ as well.
First time inside the BYU 20 for the Aggies. Williams motions. Keaton fakes the toss. Now comes right back to Kerwin Williams inside the 10. It's 1st and goal, Utah State.
Wow, nice patience. He does not panic. And he wanted to get down the field. There's nothing there. Watch him look. Not there, not there. But he's patient and comes back to Williams and takes the little dump-off pass that gets him a nice pickup.
Aggies on this drive converted a 4th and 1 at the BYU 32. Now it's 1st and goal. 10th play of the drive. Keaton toss back to Williams, who is dropped. Preston Hadley drops Kerwin Williams after he took the toss from Devonta Glover right.
Yeah, not a lot of room down there, and this defense is very good sideline to sideline. Hadley underrated as a corner. Really knows how to come up and tackle. He is a sure tackler.
BYU has allowed opponents in the red zone to score just 3 touchdowns.
Bartlett, tight end, is a good target down here.
Play fake. Keaton has to heave it. It's complete short of the end zone. So 3rd and goal coming after the grab by Matt Austin. 3rd and goal from the 2 or the 3.
Well, I wouldn't take the ball out of the hands of Chucky Keaton down here. He's making such good decisions that I would trust him with the football in an option setting, whether that's to keep it or pitch it. His decision making has been really, really strong.
3rd and goal from the 2. Keaton gives it to Williams. He is dropped. 4th and goal coming for Utah State. Kyle Van Noy blows it up in the backfield.
How about the hesitation on the sideline? They are not thinking about the 3 points here. Now, this may have started because, Bronco Mendenhall went for it early. I mean, they're both being really aggressive early in this ballgame.
Less than a minute to go in the first quarter. Will Utah State go for it on 4th and goal? Will they kick? Perhaps will they take a delay of game penalty to move it back before a kick?
Yeah, they're coming over to talk about it.
So zeros meaning delay of game, meaning the football will back up about 5 yards. And maybe give Josh Thompson just a little bit better look at the field goal. 39 seconds remaining in this first quarter.
Delay of game. Offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
So we talk about BYU's kicking woes. Brock Warren, true freshman, won the kicking job early for Utah State, but he's had a hip flexor injury, so Josh Thompson has handled the kicking duties. He missed a 34-yarder that would have won it at Wisconsin. He is from Logan, Utah. Gary Anderson said it has been a nightmare for this young man. That missed 34-yarder is the only thing that separates the Aggies from 5-0. This one is from 26. Thompson's 26-yarder is good, and Utah State grabs a 3-0 lead on BYU. A sigh of relief from Thompson. Points on the board for Utah State. The Aggies don't get in the end zone. earlier this season. Carter Blackburn, Rod Gilmore, Shelley Smith from LaVell Edwards Stadium in Provo. A 3-0 start for Utah State on BYU. Sampson will bring it out from the back of the end zone. Sampson cost his team 3 yards. We check in with Chris Carter.
All right, Carter, Rod, earlier in the night, Pittsburgh taking on Syracuse in the Carrier Dome. First quarter action, Q's already up 7-0. And Tino Sinceri hits Drew Carswell across the middle, but the ball comes loose. And Dyshawn Davis takes it 52 yards for the score. Q's up 14-0. They would hold on and win 14-3. You know, we always give fans endless coverage with Olive Garden studio updates. And this is no different. Look at Georgia and South Carolina tomorrow. That headline's a great slate on ESPN, Carter.
That is one thing we know, Chris. Jamal Williams gets the handoff for BYU on 1st and 10. Running behind the right tackle, Braden Brown. He has 7 yards, and that's going to be likely the last play of a defensive-minded first quarter.
Yeah, Utah State defense underrated, held Wisconsin in check, almost won that ball game. They're only giving up 14 points a game.
A tremendous BYU defense. The Aggies up to the test early. 3-0 at the end of one in the battle for the Beehive boot and the old wagon wheel. It's been since 1974 that Utah State has beaten both Utah and BYU in the same season. They already took care of the Utes on a Friday, now trying to take care of BYU. Taysom Hill, sharp start, but 0 for 3 on that last 3-and-out run.
Neither team's been able to run the ball effectively either.
Jamal Williams will join Taysom Hill in the backfield. Here is Jamal Williams. The 17-year-old freshman gets only 2 or 3 here. Had a career high easily, 155 yards on 15 carries last week versus Hawaii. He had only 83 yards going into the game, so easily a career high.
Well, now you have a 3rd and about 3 or 4, somewhat manageable, gives you options. You can have Hill run the ball. Quarterback draw has been great for him, but you can also use your receivers. You can use Cody Hoffman.
Williams checks out. 3rd and 3, David Foote next to Hill in the backfield. Taysom Hill, plenty of room to run on 3rd and 3. He has the first down easily as he gets to the 36.
Boy, he's decisive. When he makes up his mind to run, he tucks the football like a running back. He's not one of these quarterbacks that's trying to pretend like I might throw it down the field. He tucks it like a running back.
Over the middle, batted down, incomplete.
That is the danger zone.
Tavarius McMillan gets a hand on it, hurt himself.
Yeah, that area of the field, the middle of the field, that's where it's dangerous for a young quarterback, where they don't see the linebackers, they don't see the safeties, and all of a sudden a window that they thought was open closes.
So we talked about dropping 8 earlier. Seen some of that, especially on that first down throw.
Exactly.
Williams back into the game on 2nd and 10. Hill has missed his last 4 throws, so handing it off to David Foote. Knocked out of bounds, 3rd down coming for BYU. After that 5 for 5 opening drive, Taysom Hill has missed on his last 4 passes.
But Brandon Doman, the offensive coordinator, is trying to make 3rd down manageable, which is why they ran on 2nd down. He didn't want 3rd and 10. Now he's got something a little bit more manageable at 3rd and 4 for his young quarterback.
And last week when Taysom Hill rushed for 143 yards, he broke Brandon Doman's QB rushing record for BYU, his offensive coordinator. Allslev motions to the slot on 3rd and 4. Hill looking back towards Hoffman. Now he will try and tuck it and run, and takes a big pop as he gets to the 43, well short of the first down. Zach Vigil on the stop.
Yeah, you know, he takes a lot of punishment. He's a big boy. But when your starting quarterback is already out, you want to be somewhat judicious in how many hits you allow this youngster to have. Youngster?
Yeah, okay. Youngster.
Yeah, grown man.
I mean,
grown
youngster
man.
Youngster for life, but grown man in college football at 22 years old. Went on his LDS mission to Taysom Hill when he was 19. Rolled with BYU last January. Stevenson hangs it up. Cameron Webb lets it hit inside the 5. It looks like it broke the plane, and it did. That's a touchback. So bring it back to the 20. BYU couldn't save it. It's a touchback. Aggies get it at the 20. Well, 3 top 10 teams headline the night tomorrow on ESPN, beginning with the SEC East battle. Georgia and South Carolina. Washington against second-ranked Oregon.
That Washington-Oregon game, Justin Wilcox, defensive coordinator at Washington, played at Oregon and was the defensive coordinator at Boise State when Boise State shocked Oregon a few years ago.
Justin Wilcox has not only played at Oregon, he was a ball boy for the Ducks growing up. So he has factored greatly in Oregon football history, both playing for the Ducks and beating the Ducks.
How about the job his defense did on Stanford a week ago?
Are they ready for Oregon? We will discuss. Chucky Keaton, play action on 1st and 10. The sophomore from Texas throws downfield, incomplete, intended for Chuck Jacobs. I want to jump back to that Washington-Oregon matchup. Rod, you've pointed out that Washington's defense has gotten better through the year, most notably against Stanford. Are they ready for Oregon? I
don't know if anyone is ever ready for Oregon. Oregon is playing at such a high level. They are so fast on offense and defense. DeAnthony Thomas, no one matches up with him. I mean, you really don't have a guy that can take him.
The Ducks' average touchdown drive is 2 minutes, 2 seconds. Keaton time to throw on 2nd and 10. Now he's going to come back over the middle and complete for a Utah State first down. That's Kellen Bartlett, the 5th-year senior from Missouri.
You can see what a difference a year makes when you watch these two quarterbacks. You see he'll quickly take off, and he's got great running skills. But you see that was what Chucky Keaton did last year. He's much more patient and much more willing to stay with it and look down the field now.
Field goal drive last time that Keaton and the Aggies had it for the only points of the game. On 1st and 10. Now Keaton will bounce it outside and scramble, and he has room to run. Keaton scrambling all the way for another Aggie first down.
Yeah, BYU is only bringing 3-man pressure, only rushing 3, so Keaton has plenty of time to survey. And when he makes up his mind, he goes. Now look at the 3-man rush. Plenty of time, 3 being blocked by 5. Chucky Keaton has all day to decide what he wants to do. And I don't know that Bronco Mendenhall is going to go to a 4 or 5-man pressure. He does not like doing that against a hurry-up team.
Option, toss. That's Williams who gets popped. So against a hurry-up, no-huddle team like Utah State, dropping 8 seems to be a philosophy for Bronco Mendenhall.
Well, a spread team that's hurry-up, it's hard to sack the quarterback. It's hard to get there quickly. You bring 4, you bring 5. You're giving up defenders, and you're wasting them.
So you basically say, if we can't get to the quarterback, we're going to take that defender.
Might as well play coverage.
Fake the sweep to Marshall. Keaton finds Williams out of the backfield. Williams dragged down by Brandon Ogletree, but no horse collar. So good tackle from Ogletree, but it's first down Utah State.
I think the official over there reached for his flag, and then he took a second look and looked closely and thought, okay, he didn't quite have that. But that is a horse collar. And watch the official reach for his flag there, and then he goes, no, not going to do it.
Now you can grab the jersey, you just can't grab the inside of the pads.
Yeah, and that looked to me like he had his hand up on the inside.
Ogletree gets the stop, but the Aggies are in Cougar territory again at the 43. Jacobs in motion. Give it to Kerwin Williams, and Williams is dropped back at the 49-yard line. Daniel Sorensen finishes it off, a loss of 8.
The speed of this BYU defense, and I said speed, is often overlooked. They run really well at the outside linebacker spot and at the corner spot. They do a nice job of it. They can get to the perimeter. Most people assume a BYU defense is big and lumbering, but this defense is not.
10 points per game. That's 4th in the nation. The numbers say it's an elite defense. Their head coach not quite ready to call him elite. Keaton fakes to Williams, comes back. That's Marshall, but nothing doing on the outside. Preston Hadley, they're on the stop with Craig Bills.
Yeah, screen passes don't work against a defense that's rushing 3 and dropping 8. Those 8 guys just stand back and look at you and go, oh, screen pass? We'll come up and tackle.
So you see the improving BYU defense at this point. 5th in the nation, giving up 227 yards a game. 11 straight opponents held under 300. And they forced Utah State into 3rd and long, which means Van Noy and Ansa will get a chance to rush on 3rd and long. Keaton heaves it deep, and it is batted away. Matt Austin had his hands on it, but Jordan Johnson knocks it away.
Wow. Austin got behind it. Austin got behind Johnson, and the ball was on the money. He just dropped it. And there's no way in the world he's supposed to get over the top of the defense on a 3rd and forever.
I gave credit to Jordan Johnson, but Austin should have had that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Bennett punts to Falslev. Grabs it at the 17. A 0 on the scoreboard for BYU. Taysom Hill, after a 5-for-5 start, has missed his last 4 passes. And is it the BYU offense that only scored 6 in the loss to Boise State 2 weeks ago? Or is it the BYU offense that hung 47 on Hawaii here last week? Well, so far, Taysom Hill in his 2nd start, it has been 0s on the board. He's missed his last 4 passes, the freshman quarterback. So option run for Taysom Hill across the 30 to the 34-yard line.
You mentioned the passing. They've been safe with him. Everything has been short and to the wide field, sideways, nothing down the field. His longest completion is 13 yards. They're keeping him out of the middle of the field where there's linebackers and safeties are looking for the football.
Over the middle, that's complete. Friel. So Taysom Hill completes over the middle, and Friel's helmet pops off. Ball is down, no fumble, but that one's short in the zone to the tight end.
Yeah, and what Dave Aranda, the defensive coordinator at Hawaii, is trying to do is to take away the comfort things that Hill likes, and those comfort things are short passes and the quarterback draw.
Aranda, defensive coordinator for Utah State, was at Hawaii last year.
No, thank you.
And he led the Hawaii defense 2010 when they led the nation in takeaways. Williams in the backfield with Hill on 2nd and 5. Draw. Taysom Hill, 1st down on the QB draw.
Tastes pretty good, huh?
Rod called it the comfort food for Taysom Hill.
Yeah, feed me, coach, feed me. You call that number, I'm going to run that draw. 4 draw plays, 17 yards for Hill.
1st and 10 BYU. Hill throwing to the side. That's Ross Oppo, the sophomore from Arlington, Texas, who's been hampered by a hamstring early injury.
How much do you think it helps Hill that Doman was a quarterback here at BYU, ran the ball, and went through a lot of the things that Hill's gone through?
I think it's helped the entire quarterback situation. It's been a saga for BYU, from Jake Heap starting, taking over for Riley Nelson, and Nelson winning the job back. Right? That was against Utah State last year, where Nelson came into the game, rallied BYU in the come-from-behind effort against Utah State. Now Nelson banged up. It's Taysom Hill's job for the time being. Hill on 2nd and 5. It's incomplete, intended for Yona Pritchard. Well, the big battle in the Big Ten on ABC Saturday Night Football. Taylor Martinez in Nebraska against Ohio State, 8 Eastern on ABC. Now, last year's meeting was when Braxton Miller went down with an ankle injury, and Nebraska rallied from 3 touchdowns down to win it. Nebraska and Ohio State. We will get back to that in a moment. 3rd and 5 coming here.
2 of 6 on 3rd down.
Hill complete. Hoffman makes the grab. Cody Hoffman helps out his freshman quarterback and moves the chains.
And that's what you need. I mean, that was a big catch. They had been struggling on 3rd down. Key area of the field. They pick it up. Now they've got a little momentum, and they're also in 4-down territory again.
BYU has gone for it twice on 4th down tonight. 7th play of this drive. I backfield. Zed Mendenhall, the fullback. Jamal Williams behind him, the tailback. Straight drop for Hill. Throws to Hoffman again. Hoffman makes another nice grab with Lawson in coverage. Hoffman is really giving Taysom Hill a boost.
Well, Hoffman and Hill both recognize single coverage with Lawson, and that's a mismatch. You're talking about a guy who goes 6'4", has great leaping ability and good speed, facing a 5'9", 5'10" corner out there all by himself.
Hoffman 25 straight games with a reception, over 1,000 receiving yards. Near 1,700 now, over 1,000 return yards as well. 2nd and 1. Williams. 1st and 10. BYU to the 23. From the 22, 1st and 10. Williams again. Running behind his left tackle, Riker Matthews, maybe only a yard. Zach Vigil, inside linebacker, there again on the stop.
And if Brandon Doman is consistent with what he's done before, he wants to get 4 or 5 yards here on 2nd down. He wants a 3rd and manageable. So he wants his quarterback to have the football where he has a run-pass option more than likely.
And you pointed out earlier with the kicking struggles for BYU.
Yeah.
Perhaps 2nd down, you're already thinking about getting it to 4th and short. Taysom Hill from the shotgun, pressured. He's going to roll and throw complete. Hoffman, who is leveled as soon as he grabs it by Will Davis, the senior corner from Spokane, Washington.
Well, here's your 3rd and long situation.
BYU goes hurry up for 3rd and 7. First trip to the red zone tonight for BYU. Hill on 3rd down and 7. He's going to try and throw it, and then he's dropped. Pressure. Davis gets to him again. Fourth down coming, and BYU will send the kicking unit on. Justin Sorensen.
Had they gotten closer, they might have gone for it on 4th down, but to be 4th and 6, 4th and 5, bit much.
This is the first field goal attempted for BYU in 3 weeks. Bronco Mendenhall said he was nervous about the kicking situation from what he's seen in practice, and now you see why. The 34-yarder is tipped and blocked. Jordan Nielsen blocks the kick. Sorensen's 34-yarder is blocked, and still a 0 on the scoreboard for BYU. Bronco Mendenhall dejected with the blocked field goal, but on the other sideline, Gary Anderson and the Aggies celebrate a 0. Just up the hill in the Wasatch Range is Sundance. We've got to spend a lot of time around Utah the last couple of weeks. Back-to-back BYU trips, so a lot of exploring around the beautiful area around Provo, Utah. So,
how was your hike up to the Y?
Oh, it was taxing. Taxing, I can tell you. Feeling it for a couple days. Keaton throws on 1st and 10, complete That's Devonta Glover Wright, the corner who makes the catch as a wide receiver, as we check in with Shelly Smith.
BYU's big senior linebacker Ezekiel Ansah came out of the game for a little bit. He reported to trainers that he was nauseous. He sat on the bench for a bit. He rode the bike for a little bit. He is back in the game now.
That is a big boost for BYU's defense to have Ziggy back on the field, especially when he and Kyle Van Noy can get after the passer. You see him both standing up, ready to rush. And here's Ansah on 1st and 10. Ansah back in the game, gets the sack on Keaton. We check in with Chris Carter.
Sports Center right now, controversy in the National League wild card game. Bottom of the 8th, Braves down 6-3 to the Cards. Runner on 1st and 2nd, 1 out. And Drelton Simmons sends a pop up to shallow left. And the ball drops in, so it looks like it's going to be bases loaded, 1 out. But it's called the infield fly rule. Freddie Gonzalez can't believe it. Trash is sent onto the field by the fans. Much more on this game right now over on ESPN2 with SportsCenter.
Kerwin Williams on 2nd and 12, breaking through the middle of the BYU D. There is a flag down.
Away from the play.
Much more of the baseball playoffs in the football weekend to come later tonight on SportsCenter. On SportsCenter right now.
There are personal fouls on both teams. Number 7 on the offense and number 18 on the defense. Result of the play will be 3rd down.
Those numbers are reversed. It's 18 on the offense, Nats, and 7 on the defense, Hadley. In the end, 3rd down and about 3rd down and 5 coming for Utah State.
Yeah, you know, that option and that bringing the guy in motion has given Utah State an advantage, an extra blocker, and the threat of the triple motion. Triple option, rather.
Pressure up the middle on 3rd and 5. Keaton rolling away from it. Keaton trying to turn the corner, knocked out of bounds, short of the 1st down. Kyle Van Noy finishes off the play for the BYU defense. Ansah and Kavinga pressuring.
We've talked about Van Noy and his speed and his ability to make plays. The way he came across the field, you see how versatile he is. He can rush the quarterback and he can play in space. Here comes Van Noy. That's legitimate. That's inbounds. Not a whole lot of help on the sideline over there for Keaton, though.
Ooh. That is a rough landing, but as you said, inbounds, clean hit, no flag.
Yep.
But it's a rough landing. And that's the way the Utah State drive is going to end. Tyler Bennett punting to J.D. Falslev. Good kick. Fair catch at the 17. BYU gets the football again, trying to put points on the board for the first time on Friday night. Well, the battle for the Beehive boot and the old wagon wheel is a defensive struggle, 3-0. BYU's put together long drives with no points to show for.
Yeah, they've controlled the ball, run more plays, but no points out of it.
Now Taysom Hill, the freshman quarterback, in his 2nd start for the Cougars, has it inside his own 20. 2 minutes, 36 seconds before the half. Hill pressured. Hill throws, complete. Friel makes a nice grab to get it to the 34. We check with Chris.
Carter, coming up on the HB halftime report, we'll get Mayday's thoughts on Georgia, South Carolina, and a slew of other games on Saturday. We'll check in with the game day crew in Columbia, getting set for the Gamecocks and Bulldogs. And the Cardinals survive, beating the Braves on a controversial call late in the game. That's coming up on the HB halftime report.
Here in Provo, Utah, a flag down prior to 1st down after the 16-yard completion to Friel. Longest completion of the night.
False start, 72 offense, 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
Well, Taysom Hill has been effective on 4th down here, picking up that 1st down. It's the draw play that's been really the thing that's worked for him, the occasional scramble. But where they have to get more production is in the passing attack. That draw play has been the one thing they've gone to when they've needed to pick up a few yards.
But rolling under 2 minutes, we'll see how the BYU offense changes. That's David Foote. And it doesn't get anything. It's going to be 2nd and 15, so a minute 49 here.
Yeah, well, this Utah State defense has a really good plan and a good bead on what's going on with BYU. They're taking away the easy throws from Taysom Hill. Now, how much confidence do you have in your 2-minute offense and your inexperienced quarterback here on a 2nd and 14? Do you try and get out of the first half, or do you try and go pick up points?
And Utah State with a couple of timeouts. Maybe if they can stop BYU, think about taking a defensive timeout. Hill looking long on 2nd and 14. It's knocked away, incomplete. So 1:18 left. 3rd and 14 coming. A good opportunity for the Aggies to get the football back before the end of the half.
Well, yeah, you called it, partner. They took that shot down there. It was covered perfectly. Now you get a stop. You've got time. To Utah State, you get that ball back. You can use those timeouts effectively, and maybe you get a shot at points before the end of the half.
We'll see if that affects what BYU calls here on 3rd and 14. Hill pressured on 3rd and 14. Slips away, only gets back to the 30. Fackrell applies the pressure, and there's a Utah State timeout with 1:09. So Gary Anderson takes the timeout. 4th down coming. Can the Aggies score before the half? 3-0 Utah State on BYU late night Friday night, which means you are now only hours away from College Game Day, live from Columbia, South Carolina, 9 a.m. on ESPNU, 10 a.m. on ESPN. Among the stories, the remarkable path of Jarvis Jones to success at Georgia, not just USC, but going back into his growing up years that were very rough.
Yeah, that'll be quite worth watching. You know, Chris Fowler is up grinding for that show. I don't think I don't think he sleeps.
And yet shows up fresh as a daisy for College Game Day. Riley Stevenson hits that one for Cameron Webb all the way back at the 14. Good kick. So Webb back to the 21. So here's a scenario. 58 seconds left after that 56-yard punt, 7-yard return. So Aggies go to the hurry up with 1 timeout, 58 seconds left. Well, and remember, Chucky Keaton has made, pretty good decisions this first half in terms of where to throw the football, when to run the option. So I think there's a high degree of confidence right now that he'll make the right choice with the football. So I expect them to take their shots early on to see if they can get something going. Tall task against the BYU defense. It's only given up 10 points a game, only allowed 3 points in this first half. But the Aggies have a chance from the 21. Keaton, the sophomore quarterback, pressured by Van Noy. It's incomplete. Kyle Van Noy right in the face of Keaton on first down.
He's a player.
And Keaton is down. Now, Chucky Keaton is down. Utah State needs him to stay in the game. The backup, Adam Kennedy, has a shoulder injury. Craig Harrison, the number 3, a walk-on quarterback they don't have a whole lot of confidence in.
He wants a flag.
It would likely be Devonta Glover Wright, who was a junior college quarterback and cornerback. Now it's Craig Harrison. So this is the sophomore walk-on out of Snow College who's going to come in a game, which changes the dynamic. Yeah, he's been standing on the sideline for 2 hours. I mean, you can't expect him to come in and throw the football here, can you? I mean, remember, as you point out, Kennedy is not available. I'm not sure why the clock is running here. That was an incomplete pass. Should not be running. So they're going to have to stop it and put time back on the clock, because that was an incomplete pass on first down. I think what you want to do
Please reset the clock to 54 seconds. 5-4. Thank you.
You're welcome. You want to get to 3rd down here. Let's take a look at this. Here comes 3 Van Noy. Ball's gone away. And he gets a little helmet to helmet at the end there. That's what he was complaining about. So now handing off. This is Kerwin Williams on 2nd down and 10. Now we're out of your BYU. Do you take one of these timeouts? And it appears they will, because now BYU will have an opportunity with a defensive stop to get the football back. So, well, in a game that hasn't had a lot of scoring, at least there's some drama and some chess game going on between BYU and Utah State here in the last minute of the first half, because Utah State used the timeout to try and get a scoring opportunity, but now Chucky Keaton is out of the game for the time being. BYU has a chance to get the football back.
Yeah, they do. Now, if Chucky Keaton can come back on this play, then Utah State will take their chance to see if they can pick up the first down. If you're BYU, the way your defense has been playing, you absolutely believe you can get a shutdown, and you want to use your timeout, get that ball back, and take a shot if you can get this punt around midfield.
In a 3-0 game, the question has to be asked, is it ineffective offense or is it solid defense on both sides?
Well, I mean, we know the BYU offense has struggled. It's not explosive. They played a poor Hawaii defense that they took apart last week, but they've struggled to score. And getting the ball down the field is the issue. I mean, with Hill at quarterback, they're great at running it, and they're great with the short passes, but they haven't been able to get the ball down the field. On the other side, I mean, BYU's defense has taken away, a lot of things that Utah State's wanted to do. Plus, a missed a dropped ball has hurt them, too.
So 3rd and 9 it is. Chucky Keaton back in at quarterback for Utah State. Flags down. False start. Be 3rd and long, 45 seconds.
False start, 54 offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Yeah, see, now I think what you do is you force BYU to use one of their timeouts. You run the ball. The likelihood of picking up a 3rd down and 19 or whatever it is here is unlikely here. You run the ball, burn some clock, make them use a timeout.
Exactly what the Aggies do. Williams gets the handoff, nothing doing. Timeout BYU. At what point does the timeout come in? Bronco Mendenhall frustrated. He didn't get the timeout granted exactly when he wanted it to. 37 seconds left. So Utah State will punt back to BYU. 37 seconds left for the Cougars. Chance to look at Friday Focus. Everybody's watching on Friday night, getting ready for their Saturday matchup. Arkansas heading to Auburn. Not a lot of smiles on the Arkansas plane. Clemson and Georgia Tech in the ACC matchup.
We're not supposed to talk about Mississippi State. Nobody knows they're undefeated.
And I don't know about the wing challenge that Dan Mullen won a couple weeks ago. Virginia Tech is dominated in the state of North Carolina. They're here in Chapel Hill, and Oklahoma at Texas Tech. How big of a threat is Texas Tech to Oklahoma?
I'm curious to see Texas Tech. They haven't really challenged. They haven't played anybody yet. This is a good test.
The #1 defense in the country, numbers-wise, the Red Raiders. We'll see. We're going to
wait. We're going to wait on that one.
Bennett hits it at the 5. Falslev takes it at the 41. Falslev is wrapped up back at the 39. He loses 3 yards. So a BYU team that has struggled in the kicking game. 28 seconds left. Alston makes the stop on special teams there. Taysom Hill trots out. 28 seconds, 1 timeout, and an unreliable kicking game. That's a tall task.
Yeah, but you're going to give the youngster a chance to show off his arm. You might think in terms of a couple of plays. You have a timeout. If you can get something down to the sideline, get 15 yards or so, you can come back, stop the clock, and then use the middle of the field with a timeout. But they've not let him throw the ball down the middle of the field.
Neither team has turned the ball over in this game.
Oh, boy. You just did it.
4 wide on 1st and 10. Hill looking to Hoffman. It's complete. Hoffman steps out. 23 seconds. What are you thinking defensively here if you're Utah State?
If they want to take 7 yards, 8 yards, a crack there, time will run out before they can do anything. But you don't want to give up anything behind you.
Utah State drops into coverage. Hill finds Hoffman, and he's got it at the 25. There's the big play the Aggies couldn't give up. 17 seconds. BYU football at the 25. Biggest pass play of the night, 27 yards.
And the one guy they could not afford to lose sight of, they did.
The chain gang is sprinting down the field to try and get there for 1st and 10. Hill over the middle. It's Hoffman in the middle of the Utah State defense. Down to the 4. 1st and goal BYU. 9 seconds left.
Wow. The one guy they could not afford to lose, Hoffman. The matchup problem they were concerned about all week is the guy that they lose just before halftime.
After a solid defensive first half from Utah State, a total breakdown on the last 2 plays.
Yeah, well, Hoffman came from inside a slot and got outside and was lost by the defense. They just didn't find him. And that was the big catch that set things up.
That's Rashard Stewart, who got lost in coverage there, and Stewart's barely seen the field this year for Utah State. So now it's 1st and goal for BYU. 9 seconds, they've used their last time out. Here's where we point out they haven't made a field goal in 2.5 games now, including the blocked 34-yarder earlier.
Got to be smart with the football. Taysom Hill has to make sure that if he doesn't have something right away, he throws the ball away and preserves the opportunity to try a field goal. This is not the time for him to dance around and get trapped in the field of play.
Hoffman's at the top of your screen. With 9 seconds, Hill looks to the end zone. It's caught for a touchdown. J.D. Falslem hauls it in. BYU into the end zone before the half. In just 25 seconds, 4 plays, 61 yards, BYU into the end zone.
And a big, big catch by Cody Hoffman, 2 as a matter of fact, but what great poise by Hill on that drive.
First touchdown catch of the year for Falslem. The PAT is no good. It's another PAT miss for BYU. Riley Stevenson had 1 blocked, 1 missed last week, and misses that one left. So it's 6-3. Now let's take a look at that 25-second drive with our Honda Drive recap.
Well, it was about good decision making and poise. Out of the quarterback position, you had Hill getting a quick out to Hoffman and comes right back to it. He comes from inside out. They lose him in coverage. And then one more time, 3rd time is the charm. Hoffman gets it inside the 5. And that opened it up for Falslem to run a quick little out pattern and get the touchdown.
Hoffman 3 catches, 58 yards on the drive. Big smiles on the BYU bench. Taysom Hill, there's Riley Nelson high-fiving with the rest of the Cougars. The quarterback who couldn't go tonight because of the back injury. Taysom Hill, the freshman, getting a big shot out from the senior captain.
How about your saying, would the defense simply allow them to have the short passes? Oh yeah, give it to them. Don't let them get behind you. Very next play, right behind you.
That is breakdown for a Utah State defense, which has been solid this year. Squib kick, no chance for a big return here for Utah State. That's Marshall, and that's the half. So BYU rallies in the closing minute. Gets the touchdown from Taysom Hill. PAT no good, but at the end of a defensive struggle in the first half, the Cougars are the first team into the end zone tonight, and it was a drive led by Taysom Hill.
Yeah, great job on that last drive. Great poise, made good decisions, got the ball to the right guy, Cody Hoffman.
Let's go down to Shelly Smith.
Coach, you were worried about your kicking game. You missed the 34-yarder and now the PAT. How will that affect your game plan going forward?
More likely to go for calls that are close if it's 4th down, and more likely to continue to experiment. We have one other option to kick, and we'll see what that looks like.
What's the other option?
Taysom Hill.
He's a kicker?
He does everything.
All right, what worked so well on this last drive?
You know, just really nice protection. Utah State softened up a little bit to play some coverage. I think we're very good at throwing the football if they just rush 3 or 4, and so they kind of played into our hands on that particular drive.
Great, thanks so much.
Well, we've seen Taysom Hill at quarterback. Maybe we'll see him at linebacker as well as kicking in the second half. His Cougars have a 6-3 lead. Now we send you to the HP halftime report. Offense the boot and the old wagon wheel in the double trophy game between Utah State and BYU, but it is 6-3, only 1 touchdown, a missed PAT. So it's 6-3 as we kick off the second half here at Provo. Carter Blackburn, Rod Gilmore, and Shelly Smith. It will be Utah State receiving The opening kick of the second half. Chuck Jacobs brings it out of the front of the end zone. Jacobs made the wrong decision. He's down at the 10. Well, Rod, when the game is 6-3, there's been only one touchdown. That means that the onus on second half adjustments is going to be on the offense.
Well, we expected this to be a defensive battle. Now, the adjustments second half, that's really the key. And you think about Utah State, the option has been good for them. They just haven't run a lot of it. And on the other side, BYU, that last drive with Hill, he should have a lot of confidence for throwing the ball in the second half. And I think they'll open it up a little bit more for him.
Only touchdown drive of the game was that 25-second touchdown drive led by Taysom Hill just before the half. So it's Chucky Keaton and the Utah State offense, who had only 112 yards of total offense in the first half. It's Kerwin Williams and a great push up front by BYU to continue their physicality here in the second half.
They've had almost no success running the ball at that defense with those types of plays. The types of runs that have been successful for Utah State have come off the option game.
Kerwin Williams, after 260 yards of total offense last week against a weak UNLV defense, only 15 rushing yards in the first half for Williams. Option. Keaton keeps it, nothing to do with the football. He's dropped for a loss. Sorensen, the first man there. BYU thinks they have the football. And they do. Keaton fumbles at the 9. BYU football. The first turnover of the night comes from Utah State inside their own 10.
You can see the ball comes out before Keaton goes to the ground. That's a good call.
Daniel Sorensen, the first defender there, and then Spencer Hadley knocks it loose.
Yeah, it was certainly Hadley with the big hit.
Brandon Ogletree looks like he gets the recovery. He had 5 tackles in the first half. So it's first and goal. Taysom Hill and the Cougars. Jamal Williams, first down carry, maybe 2, second and goal. Flag down.
Holding 75 offense. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Right tackle Braden Brown.
Well, that'll make it first and goal from about the 19. Now remember the way the first half ended. Hill was on fire in that 2-minute drill. He ought to have a lot of confidence now with the passing attack.
Hoffman at the bottom of your screen. Hill runs the option to the other way. Jamal Williams takes the pitch. Williams gets back to the 12, so it's second and goal now coming from the 12. Brian Sweet there on the stop for the Aggies.
Well, they have the complete playbook available. Hill can run the ball, option, scramble, quarterback draw they've used, but they've also thrown the ball down. They got the touchdown with Falslev in the slot, quick out. So they've got options now, a lot more confidence than they had in the first half.
Second and goal for Taysom Hill, the 22-year-old freshman, making his second start at quarterback for BYU. Draw. Very little there. It's going to be third and goal from right around the 12 again. Travis Seafelt, the first defender for the penetration for Utah State.
Now remember what Bronco Mendenhall said right before half, that he might think about going for it more. This affects your play calling because you don't have confidence in your kickers.
He also said we could see Taysom Hill kicking the ball. Riley Stevenson has struggled mightily with PAT. Sorensen had one blocked. So on third and goal from the 12, fourth down plays big in BYU's thinking. Straight drop for Taysom Hill. Now he'll scramble inside the 10. It will be fourth and goal from the 7, and on the first possession for BYU, a big decision coming on fourth and goal.
And what a great tackle by Travis McMillan. Open field, one-on-one with Hill, and he takes him down. And now here's your 4th down decision. Fans don't like it.
Now, boos coming from the BYU fans here at LaVell Edwards Stadium because they have seen this before. Justin Sorensen blocked field goal. It was Riley Stevenson who missed the PAT. 25-yarder. It's a fake. Utah State was ready. Falslev is down back at the 23. Falslev, the holder on the fake, brought down at the 23. So Utah State turns it over at the 9, and BYU can't get any points on the board.
You cannot come away from a turnover in the red zone like that and get nothing, but that just happened to BYU.
Knowing the BYU kicking woes, the Aggies were ready for the fake.
Yeah, the sideline was yelling fake, and Nevin Lawson on the corner there acknowledges what he hears, and he's telling his teammates about the fake. BYU didn't have anybody open, never had a shot because the sideline got involved. The players picked it up. They were all over it.
3 trips to the red zone tonight for BYU, only 6 points. A touchdown, but a missed PAT. Missed field goal and a missed fake on a field goal. So Utah State football in a 6-3 game. And talking about taking a hit and keep on going, Travis Reynolds picks up the 1st down. Here's the BYU reaction to the missed fake. Falslev and Sorensen.
A little miscommunication. They're not quite happy with each other, trying to figure it out.
Sorensen can't be happy with much right now. Kerwin Williams, short gain. So now Utah State turns it over inside the 10 and give up no points. That's a big momentum swing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Are you kidding? You're a defensive player out there and you're backed up to your goal line and you get a stop and you give up nothing, not even 3. That helps your entire team.
We'll see if it translates now to the Utah State offense that struggled in the first half. Only 112 yards of offense in the first half. Keep batted down.
Oh, he's
Kyle Van Noy.
He is a player. Talked about his ability to rush the passer, to drop into coverage. He's so versatile, but he recognizes right here that he's not getting in there, and he knocks his ball down.
Forcing 3rd down and 7.
Yeah, he's off the edge, and watch him. Stop, get up, knock it down. Yeah, he ate football right in his face mask.
That's textbook, isn't it? Stopping, getting up, and blocking it.
Put your face into it.
3rd and 7. Utah State doesn't have a 3rd down conversion tonight. Until now. Matt Austin hauls it in. 1st down. We check in with Shelly Smith.
Okay, Gary Anderson told me they have to be able to run the ball this half. They can't get into the situation they just were, although it worked, to be 3rd and long. They have to establish a run. They said that BYU's defense is playing too solid. As for his quarterback taking a couple of hits, he said he's very tough, he's very strong, he'll be fine.
Only 40 rushing yards in the first half for Utah State. There's a flag down on the 1st down carry from Kerwin Williams. What is it?
Chop block. Offense, number 10. 10-yard penalty. 1st down.
Has to be a combination high-low block. Defender engaged. It's called on the wide receiver, Chuck Jacobs. That's a 15-yard penalty.
One of the more dangerous blocks in college football, which is why it's heavily penalized. You have a defender who's engaged and he can't protect himself, and then his legs get chopped out from underneath him.
Ezekiel Ansah back on the BYU sideline. Shelley told us in the first half he came out, told the trainers he was feeling nauseous. He's back on the BYU sideline again. 1st and 25. Keaton keeps it. Keaton slides and takes a hit anyway. Joe Sampson applies the hit.
Well, we talked about it. That's the one play that has been good for them running the football. The option. Whether they run the zone read, whether they run the speed option, that is the play that has given them yardage.
Second and 18 now for Keaton. Five seconds. Heavy pressure. Keaton gets rid of it. It's incomplete. Jacobs drops it on the edge with a heavy pressure bearing down on Chucky Keaton.
One of the few times that BYU has brought heavy pressure. They've generally gone with a three-man rush and dropped 8 guys into coverage. But on that occasion, they brought 5 guys.
Third and long for Utah State. Ezekiel Ansa not on the field right now for BYU. He has 2 sacks already in the game, but not out there for third and long. Keaton's going to heave it on third and long, looking for Austin, incomplete. Preston Hadley on the coverage.
Yeah, Austin dropped one in the first half. And he can run beyond the coverage. And he was going to get there that time, but he kind of slowed up on it, gave up on it a bit. Now watch Austin. Right now he looks back and kind of coasts instead of simply taking off.
Looked like he had Hadley beat there.
He did.
Man.
He coasted a little bit.
Bennett punts to Falslev again. Fair catch called for. He'll grab it at the 16. BYU gets the football with a slight edge. I don't know about leg room, but the super mileage vehicle developed by a team of BYU mechanical engineering students, good on the gas mileage, 1,135 miles per gallon.
That'll work.
You don't need leg room when you can go 1,100 miles on a gallon of gas. Taysom Hill and BYU from their own 17. Flag down after Williams gets it on first down. Well, Rod, we are 8.5 hours away.
Holding number 75 offense. 10-yard penalty, previous spot, first down.
8.5 hours away from College game day in Columbia, South Carolina.
You know, you're amazing. Every Friday night is like Christmas Eve for you for game day. I love it.
Well, it's a countdown clock right now, and with the way that this game is going, 9:05 to go in the third in a 6-3 game.
Could we be here tomorrow morning?
David Foote on first down and 19 just runs it out to the 11. So here's how you prove you're a real hardcore college junkie. You've got 8.5 hours game day, and you've got a close game between BYU and Utah State. You could just keep it rolling right through this one and into your college football Saturday. Hurry up. Frio makes the grab to the 20, but it's still going to be short of the first down. Third down coming up. So 9 a.m. There we are, about 8.5 hours away, including a feature on Jarvis Jones, getting you ready for Georgia and South Carolina.
And a celebrity guest picker that I think I saw it on Twitter earlier this week.
I won't tell you who it is, but he played in a band that ended with "and the Blowfish." So I'm not going to tell you who it is. I can tell you who it is. He broke that story himself early in the week. But, you know, we're not going to announce it. Hill on 3rd and 9, looking long. Guess who? Hoffman. Nevin Lawson knocks it away. And despite the protestations from the BYU sideline, no flag coming. Lawson knocks it away from Cody Hoffman.
Oh, and they were asking for that flag. Now, the problem here is that he does not play the ball. He gave one look back, but before he looked back for the ball, he grabbed Hoffman. Normally, you get flagged for that. That was a reach up high, turn the guy, and then look back for the ball later.
That's the offensive coordinator, Brandon Doman. going down there to protest the non-pass interference. That's Stevenson's punt. Webb lets it bounce out of bounds.
When you play the ball, you get some leeway. And you'll see this at the end. There is, in fact, a hand on the shoulder right there. But the eyes are looking at the ball, and that saved him. It won't save many guys in that position. Shows his flags.
Pass breakup. A 3-and-out by the BYU offense and a 33-yard punt have given Utah State their best starting field position of the night from the 50. Ezekiel Ansah back on the field for BYU.
Yeah, he can be disruptive, so they can't let him thwart what they're trying to do.
Try the run again to Williams. Makes the first couple men miss, but not Preston Hadley, who drops him.
Yeah, Ansah, he is tremendous. Watch the change of direction. This is a big man. He goes at about 6'6", 270 plus. Great speed, but the change of direction to chase down running backs, to chase down a quarterback who's very athletic. This is what is so impressive, and it's why he has really jumped up the charts of the NFL draft picks.
Came to BYU to run track. 2009, approached Bronco Mendenhall, said he wanted to play football. Williams out of the backfield. Williams about a yard short of the first down. So Ansah just put on the football pads 3 years ago. And Rod, you pointed to Todd McShay, said, hey, we're hearing a lot of buzz from the scouts. And Todd McShay said, you know what, we're going to go back and recheck. And Ansah is climbing up everybody.
Yeah, Scouts Inc., Todd McShay, they had him on the list, and they were due to recheck him and get him the extra buzz and attention. They were definitely on the radar with him.
3rd and short here. It's 3rd and 1. Williams and Marshall join Chucky Keaton in the backfield. Option toss, Marshall inside for probably the most productive run play of the night for Utah State. Bills makes the stop after Marshall gets it on the toss.
Oh, we've talked about it all night. The option series has been the thing. They go with a little shovel pass off option action here. Just a little shovel, option inside. You have the choice to go outside, keep it, pitch it, shovel pass inside. The option series has been the rushing attack for Utah State.
Play action on first down. Keaton to the air. Inside the 5. It's knocked away from Chuck Jacobs. Jordan Johnson breaks it up.
He had him, but he didn't throw him open. He threw to the coverage side. Watch where this ball is. This ball is going to be to the right. If this ball is to the left, it's a touchdown. It's behind him. It allows Johnson to come back in and make the play. So instead of throwing him open, he left him back there where the coverage was.
So that ball should have gone to the Y in BYU.
You got it.
2nd and 10, back to the ground. Trick play. This is Webb heaving. It's intercepted inside the 5. Cameron Webb's pass is intercepted by Preston Hadley, and the trick play backfires for Utah State.
I'm not sure I've seen a more exciting 6-3 ball game. We've got trick plays. We've got folks going for it on 4th down. And this one was never open. Hadley is in great position. Cameron Webb underthrows this. Look at the coverage there. Blue jerseys everywhere.
Who wants it? That was either going to be Hadley or Sorensen. Preston Hadley gets the INT. Could have thrown it to the Y on that one too. So first down from the 2 for BYU. Play action out of the end zone. Hill's pass is incomplete on a dangerous first down play. Fili Moyatu broke it up along with Lawson.
Yeah, Utah State's been afraid to pressure Hill because he's so athletic, but they come with him right here and almost get it.
So 2nd down and 10 after Lawson and Fili Moyatu break up the first down play from Taysom Hill. Run blitz coming. Williams runs right through it, dives across the 5, makes it 3rd down here. Big Sunday in NASCAR. Jimmy Johnson and Dale Earnhardt Jr. head to Talladega. NASCAR Sprint Cup Series at Talladega. Sunday, 1 Eastern on ESPN. And, of course, also available on the Watch ESPN app.
Big third down here. They need to pick up yardage and get out of the shadow of their own goalposts. Otherwise, it's going to be another short field for Utah State.
Neither team has been good on third down tonight. Hence a 6-3 game. Hill throwing complete on third down and 6. Cougars convert on this third down. It's David Foote, the former walk-on, now on scholarship, who makes the grab. McCade Brady brings him down.
Great decision, making pressure from here. Watch him release the back, and then plenty of time to make sure that he delivers his ball. Foots the guy out of the backfield, do a nice job with it.
Hill throwing on first down. Caught by David Mahina. And Mahina is slow getting up. They've already lost one of their tight ends, Austin Holt, seeking a medical redshirt. Mahina missed most of last year with a neck injury. And Devin Mahina is slow getting up here. So injuries starting to mount for BYU, most notably Riley Nelson, the quarterback, still not 100% back from the back injury that has plagued him in his senior year. Riley Nelson, the former Utah State Aggie.
And still the starting quarterback for BYU. Bronco Mendenhall has made it clear that when Riley Nelson is healthy, it is his job.
Nelson played 1 year at Utah State, went on an LDS mission, came back, quarterback BYU, senior captain, position to just root on Taysom Hill tonight. The freshman QB starting his second game. Hill throws complete. Williams makes the grab, but for a minimal gain. Nielsen gets the pressure.
A lot more pressure by Utah State now. They've gone to a 4-man pressure package. They've gone to a 5-man pressure package. Not as much with the 3-man rush they used in the first half. They've dialed it up now in the second half.
Bringing up third down and 2. Hill gonna take it himself for a BYU first down. He got to the 30 to move the chains before the forward progress was stopped by Sweet.
That was a key, another first down pickup.
If you're in 3rd and 2 and you say the comfort food for Taysom Hill is the draw, and that's more of a boot there from Hill on 3rd and short, but still he keeps it in his hands.
Yeah, he's had some pretty good meals tonight. They keep feeding him what he needs to get comfortable, and that's that draw. And then on 3rd and short, he's the guy.
Hill, the 22-year-old freshman, to throw on first down. Flings it to the outside. Ross Oppo wrestled down by Will Davis.
You know, BYU has had a couple of long drives tonight. I mean, they've had those things. They just haven't been able to really turn those drives into a lot of points.
Had a 13-play drive with 0 points. A 12-play drive with 0 points. Had the short field from the 9, 0 points for BYU. Factor in a faltering kicking game into those 0 points from those long drives. And now it's 3rd down again for BYU. This will be 3rd and 5 after the 1-yard pickup from Williams. Well, Taysom Hill, both running and throwing, has been the BYU offense.
He's been the key factor, and now on this 3rd down, can they pick this up and keep this drive going? Hoffman has been a key factor for them, particularly at the end of the first half. I don't believe Utah State will lose him this time. There he is at the top of the screen.
One-on-one.
Yep, there he is up there.
Blitz coming from Utah State. Timeout BYU prior to 3rd down and 5.
I think the clock was expiring on them.
That clock was down to 1 second before the timeout was called. First used by BYU. Well, the last couple of games have been very interesting between Utah State and BYU, including last year. It was Riley Nelson who came into the game in relief of Jake Heaps and rallied BYU to the game-winning touchdown on that tip pass. Marcus Matthews makes the grab. BYU celebrates, and that was a part of the quarterback drama for BYU over the past few years. Nelson has the job. He loses it to Jake Heaps. He wins it back. Now Nelson's hurt. It's Taysom Hill quarterbacking him.
And it's been part of the drama in the change in the rivalry. I mean, this was not a rivalry for a long time because Utah State couldn't win. And then they won 2 years ago. And then last year's game, as you just saw, went down to the final seconds.
2 years on a Friday night. It was Utah State beating BYU in Logan. Utah State has a chance to beat them. Capture a couple trophies tonight. Hill running on 3rd and 5. Hill's going to heave it downfield. It is tipped and almost intercepted. It's incomplete. Jamani Robertson had 2 hands on the football. Utah State at least gets the stop.
Yeah, it should have been picked. And Hill threw that one up for grabs. Robertson was right there. And once again, BYU, 3rd down, can't convert. Not very good on 3rd down tonight for BYU.
5 for 14 on 3rd down.
Yeah, that's not good enough.
9 plays just to get it out to the 35-yard line for BYU. Stevenson's punt goes out of bounds right around the 30, so more good field position for Utah State. Well, Friday night stretching almost into Saturday morning, and then Saturday night another good one at night. The top 10 matchup of the SEC East, Georgia, South Carolina, followed by the top 25 matchup of the Pac-12, Washington and Oregon.
Is the SEC East alive and kicking again, or what? I mean, you've got 3 SEC East teams in the top 10. Florida takes on LSU, and then the Georgia-South Carolina game.
Is Georgia, South Carolina going to determine who plays in Atlanta for the SEC championship?
I wouldn't go that far yet. I still think there's a little ways to go. Georgia has the easiest schedule to get there if they should win tomorrow.
Chucky Keaton and the Aggies get it back on 1st and 10. Flag down.
Hold start. Offense number 20. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
Celebrating its 8th year sponsoring the Good Hands Field Goal Nets, Allstate makes contributions to participating universities' general scholarship funds for each field goal and extra point kicked. To date, Allstate has contributed more than $2.8 million in scholarship monies. BYU fans are making their own joke about that right now. We don't have to make it for you. Williams dragged down. Nothing doing again for Utah State. I want to jump back a moment to that LSU-Florida game, Rod. I think Zach Mettenberger has something to prove in that game. Quarterback.
Oh, I agree. I agree. I think a lot of folks, myself included, we've looked at LSU and said, you know what? Offensively, they have the same issues as they've had last year. So it's incumbent upon Mettenberger to step up and get it done. And I think he will after all the criticism that's been heaved on the LSU offense the last couple weeks.
Keaton, 2nd and 14, complete to Austin on the slant. It'll be 3rd down and short. So a big gain on 2nd down sets up a 3rd down opportunity for the Aggies.
Largely, the wide receivers have been silent for Utah State, including a big drop by Austin in the 1st half when he was behind the defense.
Utah State has converted only twice on 3rd down tonight. Keaton pressured on 3rd and 3. It's incomplete. There's Ensa again. He has 2 sacks tonight, and he gets to Chucky Keaton again on 3rd and 3, along with Wona Kavinga.
He's dynamic, but he's not the only one coming. There's going to be pressure in right up the middle as well. This is not typical of BYU, but they bring lots of pressure. Ogletree 44 comes from the right side as well. Kavinga was coming up the middle.
Boleslev at the 10. Falslev across the 20. There's going to be a block in the back against BYU.
Block in the back, number 20 on the return team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Well, in a 6-3 game, you're going to see defense, but the kicking game for BYU has let the Cougars down again. A blocked 34-yarder by Justin Sorensen. Then after the only touchdown of the game, the missed PAT from Riley Stevenson, BYU decides to fake it. Utah State was ready. And after getting it at the 9-0 points, a defensive win for the Aggies and a defensive game 6-3. And you know the kicking game one way or the other is going to factor into the fourth quarter of this game.
You got it.
Play action on 1st and 10. Hill tucks it. Hill fights for maybe 4. Fackrell gets in there. We are headed to the fourth quarter in a 6-3 game. Late night Provo with the BI boot and the old wagon wheel still to be determined. throwback to the old days of the old wagon wheel, which is on the line between Utah State and BYU. Low-scoring game. First play of the fourth quarter, 2nd down and 6. David Foote makes it 3rd down and 2 for BYU. Carter Blackburn, Rod Gilmore, Shelley Smith. We have another tight game on Friday night, 6-3 in the 4th. This one has been about good defense, bad kicking by BYU.
And missed opportunities with trickeration.
Utah State had it in the red zone the last time. The trick play resulted in an interception. Aggies haven't been in the end zone. BYU's only there once. Missed PAT, makes it 6-3. Taysom Hill, the freshman from Idaho, throwing on 3rd and 2, and a nice grab by Keneakua Friel for a 1st down. Flag down on the play. Or is there?
Picked it up.
No flag. 1st and 10 BYU from the 24. Hurry up. Hill. Minimal gain. He may have fumbled the football. Nope, Hill still got it. It's 2nd down. Labuaho makes the tackle.
Now, Utah State has been more effective on defense this half when they've brought pressure. When they only rush 3, Hill's had plenty of time to decide whether to complete a pass or to scramble. I think you're going to find as you get deeper into this drive, they are going to turn up the heat more because Hill's been hurting them when they only rush 3.
Hoffman goes in motion on 2nd and 8, so he's in the slot near side. Hill, shovel pass. Williams has it. Williams dives for a BYU 1st down. Motion everybody away and pitch it to Williams.
Anticipated the pressure, got the shovel pass underneath it. That's the cat and mouse game that's got to go on this drive. When does Utah State bring the pressure? Does BYU accurately predict it and adjust to it?
So 1st and 10. Keep an eye on the Utah State pressure. Williams nearly breaks the tackle from Fackrell, but he manages to drag him down after a gain of about 4.
A couple of freshmen that BYU is relying on here in the 4th quarter. Freshman quarterback, freshman running back Williams.
That's Riley Nelson on the BYU sideline, the senior quarterback, still trying to come back from a back injury. Marco Mendenhall says he is close to full health. 2nd and 5, flag down, free play for Hill and BYU. Hill just gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Offside, defense number 90. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down, short of the 1st down.
Chance to look at some great teamwork brought to you by Russell Athletic.
Well, this great teamwork happened right before the half. The key to the touchdown drive, it was Hill and Hoffman hooking up on 3 consecutive plays. 3 catches for 58 yards. That set up the only touchdown of the evening, BYU's touchdown that put them ahead 6-3.
2nd and short here for the Cougars. Hill gives to Williams. Finds the edge on the outside. Mendenhall blocking for him. Jamal Williams gets the 1st down. McCade Brady on the stop. He has 11 tackles now for Utah State, the safety.
We've seen the sustained or long drives from BYU before tonight. We haven't seen them turn those drives into points. That's been their issue.
The only explosive plays you can count from the BYU offense were those ones you just saw, with Hill going to Cody Hoffman just before the half. Some defensive breakdowns by Utah State. This is the 8th play of the drive, haven't crossed the 50. Option. Hill keeps it on 1st and 10. Hill finally into Utah State territory. So you've had a 13-play drive with 0 points, a 12-play drive with 0 points. This is play number 8.
Watch the pressure come from inside. They get everything boxed inside. Mendenhall gets out in front and seals it so that they can get to the edge. They're doing a good job of finding and anticipating the pressure coming on the run blitzes from Utah State.
Hill on 2nd and 4. Heaves it complete. First down, Jamal Williams makes the grab. BYU moves the chains inside the Utah State 40. Flag down. Skylar Ridley apparently came off the sideline for BYU after a little pushing and shoving between Utah State and BYU. Keep an eye on 17, Skylar Ridley with his helmet off. And he will likely be ejected from the game.
Guy, you got no helmet on. You're just watching.
Dead ball, personal foul, number 17. 15-yard penalty. It will be a first down. Dead ball.
Well, Ridley's not ejected from the game, but he's given a personal foul. And that is as egregious a penalty as you can have, a reminiscent of Alabama and Rice in the Sugar Bowl many years ago. Maybe.
Really?
Maybe.
We're going back to that one?
Maybe. Anyway, Ridley gets the personal foul with a 15-yarder, so now back across the 50. That's a rare one.
Didn't he trip the guy coming off the sideline?
Yeah, there you go.
Aren't you lucky I remember those things?
Taysom Hill is intercepted. Fackrell picks it off. Utah State football at the 48. So the BYU drive gets thrown in reverse by the penalty from Ridley coming off the sideline. On the next play, Taysom Hill throws the pick.
Yeah, Fackrell with a great one-handed pick. And we talked about this being the dangerous area for the young quarterback over the middle. Fackrell makes him pay for throwing into coverage. The interception by Fackrell gives Utah State the football. An important correction.
It was not 17 Skylar Ridley who came off the sideline. It was 17 Matt Hadley who came off the sideline. They both wear 17. It wasn't Ridley, the wide receiver, the junior. It was Matt Hadley, the freshman, who came off the sideline and was flagged for the 15-yard personal foul penalty. On the next play, Fackrell makes the interception. Utah State yet again has an opportunity off the first turnover by BYU tonight. Chucky Keaton looking over the middle. Keaton trying to get to the outside. Ezekiel Ansah runs him down and forces a wild throw that's incomplete.
Now, your reference to the Sugar Bowl, that was not correct. You were probably talking about the 1954 Cotton Bowl, right?
Rod, I cannot get anything college football over on you.
All right. But the other thing is, you're not equating coming off the bench, tackling a guy, preventing a touchdown, with pushing a guy off a pile.
That was the Dickey Mangle play, but nonetheless, that 15-yard penalty,
it does hurt. Yeah,
throws BYU in reverse, and then interception following that. But the Aggies have been unable to capitalize on their myriad opportunities. Only 177 yards of offense to this point for the Aggies. Keaton over the middle, complete. That's Cameron Webb, who has a first down to the 40. Webb, who threw the interception on the trick play attempt in the red zone for Utah State, makes that grab.
Well, this is all they have, the quick slants and the option game. The rushing attack outside of the option hasn't been there. And even with that, what did they rush for? 45 yards tonight or something like that?
48 right now, which leads to those ugly numbers in the last 7 drives. Even after that completion, still not even 200 total yards of offense against the stout BYU D. The Cougar defense has kept them in the game. Pressure off the edge. Keaton throws that direction. It is caught. First down. Williams inside the 30. Had Sampson on the blitz. Keaton threw right into it.
And Johnson was going for the ball. He had a chance to make a big hit there, but he thought he could pick off the ball, and he went right by the catch.
From the 28. Keaton's pass incomplete. May have been tipped at the line. Now guess who, Rod? Ezekiel Ansah got his paw on that football. He has been disruptive all night for BYU. Keaton, option, keeper. Drilled as he gets about 3 yards. Kyle Van Noy greets Chucky Keaton.
Yeah, when Ansah isn't there, Kyle Van Noy is there. And he's rushed the quarterback. He's made plays down the field. And he's been a terror off the edge. On another third down, Ansah's not in there. This is Kyle Van Noy's area, bringing pressure off the edge on a third down. That's what we'll be looking for.
Van Noy drops into coverage. Keaton throws complete. Austin makes the grab at the 14.
Interesting. BYU went into coverage. They only brought 3 and dropped 8. Chucky Keaton had plenty of time. Now, does he hang on to this? Yes. Got his arms underneath the ball.
In the books now. Get the snap off. Williams, no gain on first down. Second down and 10 from the 15. Rod, if you're Utah State, you can't settle for a field goal here.
Well, but you know you've got 3 in your back pocket. You've got a pretty good chance of tying up the game here. You've been limited in what you can do in the passing game. Screens and slants. You haven't had much else down here.
Keaton, quick hitter, bobbled incomplete. Jacobs can't hang on. It's 3rd and 10.
Yeah, you may not want to settle for 3, but given the pressure that BYU can bring with Van Noy and Ansah on the outside, that ball has to come out quickly. And the only thing they've been able to do in the passing game is to throw the slant route and the screen. That's it.
It would be a 32-yard field goal attempt from here for Thompson, who has struggled. So 3rd and 10 for the Aggie offense. Flag down.
False start, 74 offense, 5 yards, 3rd down.
3rd and 15.
Now, see, you have to start thinking again as a play caller about getting back to where you know you have 3 points. And the last thing you can do is let that man or his buddy Van Noy push you further out of field goal range.
Would be 37 from here. Keaton incomplete. Jacobs again. 4th down coming for Utah State.
That's a big drop. You got to make that catch. You make that catch, now you have a more realistic field goal. It's not like they haven't struggled in the kicking department.
Josh Thompson missed the 34-yarder that would have won it at Wisconsin. Hit a 24-yarder earlier tonight. This is officially 38. For the tie, Thompson's 38-yarder is no good, and BYU clings to a 3-point lead with 7:47 to go. Another opportunity for the Aggies results in 0 points, and BYU hangs on to the lead.
ESPN College Football Primetime is presented by Russell Athletic, who remind you that together we are, and in part by Heineken. Open your world. Enjoy responsibly.
We've dipped under 50 degrees here in Provo, Utah tonight, so it is indeed time to pull out the retro Brigham Young Cougars. That's Detmer era BYU sweatshirt there. Cosmo celebrates. BYU celebrates the fact they still have a 6-3 lead after the missed 38-yard field goal from Utah State. Kicking game has let both teams down. Hill's pass way too high for Ross Oppo on 1st and 10. Thompson missed 38-yarder, but the way this is going, he may have a chance to be a hero. Who knows? BYU out of the eye. Option. Hill tosses. Jamal Williams only gets 2. Nevin Lawson on the stop for Utah State. Well, the Big Ten showdown on ABC Saturday Night Football. Nebraska, Ohio State. Taylor Martinez only 1 interception thrown so far this year. Nebraska's 4-1.
Nice matchup. Braxton Miller, Taylor Martinez. And both these guys can run. 2 of the better athletes in the Big Ten.
Taylor Martinez, Braxton Miller, Nebraska, Ohio State. Saturday night ABC. Here on Friday night, late night, 3rd down and 8 for BYU. Hill from the shotgun. Taysom Hill looking downfield for Hoffman, who hauls it in. What a grab by Cody Hoffman, who has been the only big playmaker for BYU tonight.
Yeah, he was matched up with Lawson one-on-one. Watch him get behind him. And what great concentration. 6'4". Throw the ball up and let him go get it over the smaller defensive back.
114 receiving yards tonight for Cody Hoffman. That's a 28-yard pickup. Taysom Hill gets 3 more on the ground on 1st down.
Well, you're right. He's been the passing attack. I mean, that's been what they've done in the air, has gone to Hoffman to get it done for him.
Out of 164 passing yards, correction, 235 for BYU. Hoffman has 114 of them.
Well, and they were all the key ones. Right before the half that led to the touchdown, and this one to get a big 1st down.
Williams on 2nd down, maybe 2 more. It's going to be 3rd down and about 5 for BYU. So long drives crossing the 50. Last time they crossed the 50, the key penalty and then the interception. They've gone on 13 play drives with 0 points, 12 play drives with 0 points. Now it's 3rd down and 5 again. Hoffman comes out.
Yeah, well, this is really still Taysom Hill area in time. I mean, they have a lot of confidence in him. And they have a lot of confidence in their defense. So I think they really do want to let Hill try and pick this up for them in some way, shape, or form.
Cody Hoffman is at the bottom of the formation. Hill looks that way. Now comes back to the right with a flag down. Taysom Hill heaving it incomplete off the hands of Jamal Williams. We'll check the flag. Brady knocked that one away from Jamal Williams.
Holding 73 offense. 10-yard penalty.
That's Kafu who's making his first start.
3rd down.
That left guard, because Famika Anai, due to a myriad of injuries, his career is over at BYU. The offensive line continues to shuffle for the Cougars. Penalty was declined to make it 4th down. So Riley Stevenson will try and pin Utah State back. Good kick. BYU knocks it away. Boy, that's a good play right around the goal line from Spencer Hadley to knock it back. Stevenson celebrates because they have pinned Chucky Keaton in Utah State back at the 2. Boot and the old wagon wheel still yet to be determined between Utah State and BYU. 5:06 to go. Let's go back to the punt.
Yeah, they moved this ball up to the 6-yard line, saying that it was touched here, but as you can see, it wasn't.
Should have been down at the 2. Instead, it moves out to the 6. Utah State backed up to its own 6. Last year, BYU went on a 96-yard drive against the Aggies to win it. 5:06 to go. The challenge now for Chucky Keaton in Utah State is a 94-yard drive. Keaton over the middle, complete to Matt Austin. First down to the 17. Unga on the stop.
Unga lucky he didn't get flagged for the shoulder to the head at the end of that play. Very close.
You see the yellow notches underneath the team name, so 3 timeouts for Utah State. Keaton incomplete. Looking for Jacobs again, and it's just been out of sync for Chuck Jacobs and Chucky Keaton tonight.
Well, they're limited. I mean, the only route we've talked, it's the slant. And they don't have time to do anything else because of the pressure that they get. And the deep passes have been dropped, and they've gone away from it. So it's the slant route or screen routes.
Keaton drag route complete to the tight end Bartlett, setting up a critical 3rd down. It will be 3rd and 3 for Utah State. Aggies only 3 for 12 on 3rd down tonight.
Well, one thing you have to do is you have to block Kyle Van Noy. Number 3 is active around the line of scrimmage. If they don't block him, they will not pick up the 3rd down.
Van Noy and Ansa both on the left side of the defensive line for BYU. They block him. There's the slant, complete. First down, Utah State.
Kyle Van Noy, number 3, comes in on an inside rush. They pick him up and get a throwing lane, a window perfect for Chucky Keaton to squeeze it in there.
Utah State trying to beat Utah and BYU in the same season for the first time since 1974. On Friday night, September 7, beat Utah in OT. Heavy pressure coming again. Keaton is sacked back at the 20. Unga gets the sack on Keaton.
That was a delayed blitz by Unga. Here is 41 coming in late, waiting for the blocking to pick up Ogletree. 44 created the lane for Unga to get in there.
Making it 2nd down and 19. False start.
And Kyle Van Noy created that.
False start. Offense number 66. 5-yard penalty is 2nd down.
They are so concerned with number 3 and his ability to rush the passer that when he jabs his foot or he moves, they react.
And what Chucky Keaton in Utah State was hoping would be a game-defining drive, it's going in reverse. And the stout BYU defense has set up the Cougars with less than 3 minutes to go in a 6-3 game. Keaton completes on 2nd and 24. That's Webb back to near the original line of scrimmage. It's still going to be 3rd down and 11 after that completion.
It gives them a chance, though. 3rd and 11 is a lot more doable than 3rd and 20, 3rd and 24. How much pressure will BYU bring?
A lot. Picked up, though. Keaton throws. It is incomplete. 4th down. 2:17 to go.
I don't think they're going to get the ball back. I think they're worried about not getting the ball back, but the coaching manual says you kick it here and you use your timeouts.
Trusting that your defense can get a stop against BYU and using those 3 timeouts.
But I bet they don't get that ball back. I mean, the way Hill's been able to scramble around.
4th and 11 from your own 30. Bennett punts. Takes a late Utah State roll down right around the 24. 2:06 to go. BYU football. Utah State needs a stop quickly to have a chance. Late night Friday night, but it's coming down to another close finish. 2:06 to go in a 6-3 game. We're 7.5 hours from game day in Columbia, 10.5 hours from the noon Eastern kicks on your college football Saturday, and this one's still to be determined. Saw Riley Nelson firing up his BYU teammates. Timeout Utah State, so this is essentially a BYU first down, and they win the game. Well, you may be watching right now on the Watch ESPN app, all season long, available anytime. So if your Saturday plans are going to keep you away from watching some of those good matchups tomorrow night, like Georgia and South Carolina, Washington and Oregon, take your Watch ESPN app with you.
You know, the other handy thing is you're watching a couple games on TVs, you pop open the little iPad, you put on your Watch ESPN, you got another game rolling right there.
Even if you have a rehearsal or rehearsal dinner, you can take your Watch ESPN app with you.
I'm just telling you, friends don't let friends get married during the football season. That's all I know. It's an ironclad rule, has been for a long time.
I'll be taking my Watch ESPN app with me tomorrow night. Second,
I'll keep you posted. Yeah. You'll be getting text messages.
2nd and 6 here for the Cougars. Hill to Williams. So timeout Utah State. This third down could determine the ball game, and likely will determine the ball game. If BYU converts, they move the chains, then that means BYU gets a defensive and odd 6-3 win.
Well, yeah, and what it comes down to for Utah State is how much pressure are you going to bring to make sure that you cover every gap and you get a chance to stop this running play and give yourself one last chance to get the ball back. And I don't know if we're going to see a field goal kick in this ball game. It's been a challenge all night, but that's probably the only opportunity. It's right now. Shut it down, run blitzes, get the ball back, and hope that you can get in range for a field goal.
Minute 53, one timeout left for Utah State. This is 3rd down and 6 coming up. BYU 7 for 17 on 3rd down. So the Aggies need a stop. Taysom Hill from the shotgun on 3rd down and 6. Option on 3rd and 6. Toss to Williams. He has the edge. Williams has the first down. He has it to the 40. And BYU is a minute 44 away from a 6-3 win over Utah State.
And how about that? Brandon Doman, the offensive coordinator, goes to the 2 freshmen on an option play. Somewhat risky to put the ball in play like that, but he does it with a lot of confidence. He knows that Hill can handle it. He gives it to the freshman Williams, and now they can salt away the game.
Now Williams did go out of bounds, so a minute 44 on the clock. One timeout left for Utah State. And BYU will take a timeout prior to 1st down and 10.
Yeah, clock was running out.
And we talked about the Saturday games to come, Ron, but we haven't really touched on the West Virginia, Texas. You had Syracuse who won earlier tonight. You had pointed out in your article for Insider on ESPN.com how Syracuse beat Geno Smith and West Virginia last year.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I would expect Texas to try to follow that approach. A lot of pressure on Geno Smith, and then a running game and using your short passing game to control the clock and keep West Virginia off the field so they don't get 90 plays like they did last week. I would expect them to try that. But people underestimate how good Geno Smith is on the move. I think Texas will come after him, but he can throw the ball on the move. I don't think there's going to be a big drop-off in his execution just because they put him on the move.
Out of the BYU timeout, this is 1st and 10 again. Option again. Williams grabs it on 1st down. Williams has a first down across the 50, and that should be the ball game. BYU will win it and go to 4-2. Stays in bounds. Clock stops temporarily on the moving of the chains, but only one timeout left for Utah State.
Now, BYU has a challenging schedule that's remaining out there. They will be a factor in a lot of races. I mean, they see Notre Dame down the way. They see Oregon State, which is having a great season so far this year.
Yeah, it's Oregon State next week. That game's a Saturday afternoon game on ABC. The undefeated Oregon State Beavers, where Bronco Mendenhall played and coached as defensive coordinator. Running Hill on first down. There's the final timeout for Utah State.
And you know, this BYU team is very similar to Notre Dame. An outstanding defense, an athletic quarterback. They rely on their defense really to get things done for them. That matchup is a different matchup that people haven't really looked at, but that will be a tougher game, a closer game than I think a lot of people realize.
So that's the schedule ahead for BYU. Oregon State next week on ABC, at Notre Dame, at Georgia Tech. And then remember, BYU is an independent, so that's why you're closing out with Idaho, San Jose State, New Mexico State.
They may very well get Riley Nelson back next week also at quarterback.
And if I'm BYU in this situation, I'm not running Taysom Hill, because now Utah State's out of timeout. They ran him on first down, but now BYU needs to take a knee.
Agreed. Yeah, they victory formation. They get it.
So victory formation Hill after Taysom Hill took a big pop on that first down play. So that means that the old wagon wheel is going to go to the BYU Cougars. Now, in the round robin between Utah State and BYU, Weber State is also eligible for the Beehive boot. Weber State's never won it, but if there's a tie in the round robin, as there will be this year, it goes to the Utah media.
Not the boot.
Not the boot.
No, just the vote.
Yes, correct. The boot doesn't go to the media. The vote goes to the media. Well, Friday night, one way or another, it's going to be wild. Rod Gilmore, Shelley Smith, I'm Carter Blackburn. This is a 6-3 final for BYU on Utah State. A big SportsCenter coming your way with a recap of the Wild Ones on the baseball diamond and a preview of all of the football action to come this weekend. 6-3 BYU over Utah State. Cougars and the Aggies in a defensive fight. It goes to BYU. Taysom Hill 2-0 as the starting QB. SportsCenter begins right now.